Good morning, students. Today I am going to start a new lesson, that is a lesson number 3, that a cultural heritage of India's culture and architecture. The points to be discussed today are sculpture, architecture, ancient Indian town planning of Mohenjo-daro, construction of town, roads, drainage system, public bath and public building. So, in the last two chapters of history, you have studied about a heritage. What is meant by heritage? Whatever is inherited from generation to generation is called a heritage. How many types of heritages are there? There are two types of heritages. That is a natural heritage and a cultural heritage. What is the meaning of a natural heritage? The result of a close relationship between nature, environment, and human life is called a natural heritage. That means whatever made by nature is called a natural heritage. And for example, that plants, rivers, mountains, creepers, animals, mountains, etc. Then cultural heritage means whatever man obtains or creates with his skill, intellect, tact is called cultural heritage. Other name of a cultural heritage is man-made heritage. So in the second chapter you have studied about that cultural heritage of a man of India, that is handicraft and fine arts. So in this lesson you are going to study about sculpture and architecture of India. So what is the meaning of a sculpture? Sculpture means a murti, that making that here I showed in the slide, making that a murti, statue of human beings, animals, gods, goddesses is called a sculpture. So the person who is making that a sculpture is called a sculptor. Sculpture, see the spelling, that a murti spelling is Sculpture. So the person who is making is a last, instead of RE you have to write a OR. That means what that a sculptor is doing by using that a chisel and a hammer. He is changing the shape of a stone, wood, metal, etc., and making different human figures like human figures, then that animal figures, gods, goddesses, etc. That is a sculpture. So what is the meaning of a sculpture? Sculpture means to carve the feelings on. Carve means to cut. He is means cutting the stone, wood, metal, etc., and expressing his feelings on that wood, metal, etc., with a hammer and a chisel, by using that weapons, hammer and a chisel. So the art of shaping figures or designs with a facial expression in round or relief professionally performed by a sculptor with the help of a chisel and a hammer. So that means he is that shaping that figures or designs with the facial expressions. In some of the figures, you can see that they are laughing, smiling like that. And means who is performing this? That is his profession, occupation, and it is performed by the sculptor by using the weapons, chisel and hammer. So sculpture means to carve the feelings on stone, wood, or on metal with a hammer and a chisel. So the art of shaping figures or designs with a facial expression in round or relief professionally performed by a sculptor with the help of chisel and a hammer. The next one is architecture. Architecture, symbol meaning of architecture is making the buildings, temples, that is constructing something is called architecture. And the word which is used for architecture in Sanskrit language is Vastu. And now most of the buildings, they are made on the basis of this Vastu Shastra, according to the direction of that sun, moon, like that. So what is the meaning, symbol meaning of architecture? Making the buildings, so that art of a construction. And what is the word used for architecture in Sanskrit language? Vastu. And what is architecture? Architecture means art of constructing towns, buildings, mosque. Mosque means a worshipping place of the Muslims. Then tombs. Tombs means a place where that dead bodies are kept. Like a Taj Mahal is also the tomb of a Mumtaz Mahal. Then towns, wells, minarets. Minarets means that a Muslim mosque have a minaras. That is called the minarets. And the person who is means constructing, they are called architect, where that the skill of architect is showed. So what is the meaning of architecture? Simple meaning of architecture is the art of construction. And what is the word used for architecture in Sanskrit language? Vastu. What is architecture? It is the art of constructing towns, buildings, mosques, tombs, towns, wells, and minarets, where that is whose skill is showed, the skill of architect is showed. Then ancient Indian town planning, that and in each of the means topics I have written the question also that were asked in that board exams. So when you are listening to this video, take your that textbook and write the questions that where it is that this topic is coming. So explain the town planning of ancient India. And India had acquired expertise in the field of town planning. That means India got expert or experience in the field of town planning. Now modern people, they are living in that towns. So in ancient time also, that ancient people, they lived in that towns. That we got that proof from that archaeological excavation. Who are the archaeologists? Archaeologist means the scientist who are studying about ancient remains. That means because of that natural calamities like earthquake, flood, etc. Some of the buildings, they went under the earth. So these archaeologists, they are doing that excavation work, means digging out and bringing out these remains out and studying about that. So these archaeologists, they have found out many ancient towns in India. And these towns, they were divided into three sections. First one is a fort of rulers. It is known as a citadel. And in ancient time, India was ruled by the kings, Rajas. So that they lived in that fort, Killa saying, and that is called a citadels. And they were, means they had made their forts in the upper part of the town. And I showed in there that it is divided into three sections. That upper part of the town is that fort of the kings, rulers. And then second is that houses of that administrative officers. Administrative officers means those officers who used to help kings or rulers in their administrative task. So their houses also were situated on the upper part of the town. And this house is safe, and these houses were safe and protected. And those houses were having that 2 to 5 rooms. Then third one is that houses of the common people, and that they were poor people. That is why their houses were built on that lower part. And they were constructed with handmade bricks. And the houses were fortified means a highly raised walls were built around that houses. And people of Indus Valley civilization and Mohenjo-daro were forward in respect of town planning. This town planning existed. Indus Valley civilization is of 5,000 years old. So imagine that 5,000 years old people, they lived in the towns like us. So India had so explain the town planning of ancient India. India had acquired expertise in the field of town planning. So India had experience in the field of town planning, and many towns were found out, discovered during the archaeological excavation. The towns were divided into three sections. First one is a fort of rulers, that rulers lived in the forts, that is called a citadel, and they were constructed on upper part of the town. Then second one is the houses of the administrative officers, where they were situated. They were also situated on the upper part of the town. So who were the administrative officers? Those who helped officers, government officers, those who helped that rulers in their task. And this they were that houses of the administrative officers situated on the upper part of the town, and they were safe, and they were having houses, and they were having 2 to 5 rooms. And the third one is that houses of the common people, where they were situated on the lower part of the town, and they were made of handmade bricks. And the houses were fortified, made of highly raised walls. And the people of Indus Valley civilization and Mohenjo-daro were ahead in respect of town planning. Write the question in the textbook. The next one is we are going to discuss about the town planning of a Mohenjo-daro. That what is the meaning of a Mohenjo-daro? Mohenjo-daro means a heap of the dead. So they have a archaeologist. They have found out a collection of so many dead bodies. That is the meaning of a Mohenjo-daro, heap of the dead. So who discovered this Mohenjo-daro? It was discovered by Rakaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sani. They were the archaeologists under the guidance of Sir John Marshall and Colonel Maker in Mohenjo-daro in Larkhan district. Now it is in Pakistan in 1922. So who discovered the towns of Mohenjo-daro? Rakaldas, archaeologist named Rakaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sani under the guidance of Sir John Marshall and Colonel Maker in Mohenjo-daro in Larkhan district in 1922. What is the meaning of the word Mohenjo-daro? The heap of the dead. So who discovered Mohenjo-daro? Archaeologist named Rakaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sahani under the guidance of Sir John Marshall and Colonel Maker in Mohenjo-daro in Larkhan district in 1922. What is the meaning of the word Mohenjo-daro? The heap of the dead. Then construction of town. Right in the textbook, describe the houses in Mohenjo-daro. So they have this Rakaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sani, they had discovered many houses in Mohenjo-daro. So among the town planning of ancient India, that town planning of Mohenjo-daro is the best. So in MCQ they will ask, objectives they will ask which town planning was the best in ancient India. The town planning of Mohenjo-daro. And houses were built on high plinth to protect them from flood and dampness. That means they built their houses on high platforms. And why they built on high platforms? And in order to protect their houses from flood. When heavy rainfall occurs, that flood occurs, and that flood water will enter their houses. So in order to protect their houses from flood water and destruction, they had built their houses on high platforms. And the houses of the rich people were double story. That means a first floor, second floor, like that, and had 5 to 7 rooms. So how were the houses of that rich people? They were double storied. How many rooms that houses of the rich people had? 5 to 7 rooms. Then houses of the poor people were single story. That means only one floor is there. And how many rooms they had? They had 2 to 3 rooms. The town was fortified. Means the whole town was surrounded by that highly raised walls. And the main entrance of the houses were not on the main roads but on the side lanes. So our houses also, that main entrance is opened on that main roads, but in that time their houses, the main entrances of the houses were not on the main roads but on the side lanes. Then the archaeologists, they have also found out the remains of a storehouse, then kitchen and a bathroom. There means there was proper arrangement of doors, windows to keep the house airy and ventilated. So they had also found out that doors and windows to allow that air and light to come in. So describe the houses in Mohenjo-daro. Among the town planning of ancient time, the town planning of Mohenjo-daro is the best. So how they built their houses? They built their houses on high platform. Why? To protect the houses from flood and that destruction, dampness. How were the houses of the rich people? The houses of the rich people were double storied and had how many rooms? 5 to 7 rooms. How were the houses of the poor people? They were single storied and had how many rooms? 2 to 3 rooms. And the whole town was surrounded by highly raised walls. And the main entrance of the houses were not on the main road but on the side lanes. And the remains of storehouse, kitchen and bathroom were also found in every house. There was proper arrangement of doors, windows to keep the house airy and well ventilated. Then roads. So write that question in your textbook, give information about roads of Mohenjo-daro. And the main feature of the town planning of Mohenjo-daro are its roads. The roads were very wide means the roads were so wide that means so many vehicles could pass at a time, and the width of the road was 9.75 meters. So the roads were how many meters width? That 9.75 meter wide, and small link roads. Small roads, they are connecting that main roads at right angles. The roads were so wide that so many vehicles could pass at a time, and on both sides of the roads they have found pits. Pits means holes. It is believed that they have made the pits for making that, for keeping that street light or lamp post. And the speciality of the roads were that they did not have any turns. And there were two main roads. One was from north to south. I showed in that picture that other was from east to west. And both the road from north to south and east to west, they cross at a right angle. So give information about the roads of Mohenjo-daro. Roads are the main feature of the town planning of Mohenjo-daro. That how many meters width it is. The roads were 9.75 meters wide, and small link roads, small connecting roads, they connect that main roads at right angles. And what is the speciality of the roads? The roads were so wide that many vehicles could pass at a time, and on both sides of the roads they had found out pits. It is believed that they must have used for putting that lamp post. And the roads were, what is the speciality of the roads? So they were straight without any turns. And how many roads were there? There were two main roads. One was from that north to south, and the other was from east to west, and both crossed each other at a right angle. Then drainage system, that also about that drainage system in the textbook. Write this question: give information about the drainage system of a Mohenjo-daro. Drainage system means a gutter system. So what is the unique feature of a town planning of a Mohenjo-daro? That drainage system. And only in India and Crete in Mediterranean Sea we can find this drainage system. And that it shows that the people of the drainage system of Mohenjo-daro shows that people were very careful about their health and hygiene, cleanliness. And the system was built to drain the dirty water out from the town. So they had made the drainage system to remove that dirty water out from the town. Each and every house has a cesspit. Cesspit means that holes where that dirty water from the toilets, washrooms, then that kitchen, etc. gets collected in that cesspit. So give information about the drainage system of Mohenjo-daro. What is the unique feature of a town planning of a Mohenjo-daro? In the objective they will ask a drainage system. Where we can find such a drainage system besides India, that Crete in Mediterranean Sea. That why they had made this drainage system to remove that dirty water out from the town. Each and every house had a cesspit. And so this shows that they were very careful about their health and hygiene. This planned, systematic and efficient drainage system shows that they were very careful about their health and hygiene, that is health and cleanliness. So what is the unique feature of drainage system of a Mohenjo-daro? It is that drainage system. What is the unique feature of a town planning of a Mohenjo-daro? Drainage system. And where we can find, besides India, where we can find such a drainage system? Crete in that Mediterranean Sea. And why they had built that drainage system? To drain that dirty water out from the town. And each and every house had a cesspit. And this shows that they were very particular about their health and hygiene. So last year that board exam they had asked them, which system shows that the people of Mohenjo-daro were careful about their health and hygiene. So you have to write that drainage system. The next one is a public bath. Public bath means they had found out a very big, huge bathroom in Mohenjo-daro, and a huge bath was excavated at Mohenjo-daro. So they have excavated a very huge bathroom in Mohenjo-daro, and there was in that bathroom there was, I showed there. So in the middle of that bathroom, that means there was tank is there, and they had made such an arrangement that such an arrangement to fill that fresh water in and dirty water out. And means there were also facility for that hot water and small rooms for changing the clothes. So before and after the bath, when we are changing the clothes, that rooms are needed. So in that bathroom, you can see that small rooms were there for changing the clothes. And it is believed that might have been used this bathroom during the festivals or religious ceremony. That in Kumbh Mela, every 12 years, Kumbh Mela is held in that Triveni Sangam in Allahabad. There large number of people used to gather for taking bath in that rivers. Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati, that a meeting place of a Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. So there also that one huge bathroom is there. Large number of people are coming over there to take bath. So here also they must have used this bathroom for festivals or some religious ceremony. So give information about the public bath of Mohenjo-daro. A huge bath was excavated at Mohenjo-daro. And there was arrangement to put the fresh water in and dirty water out. And there was also facility for hot water and small rooms for changing the clothes. And these public bath they might have used on festivals or religious ceremony. Public building, that give information about the public building of a Mohenjo-daro. Write in your textbook this question. That means they had found out that two huge buildings, remains of two huge buildings have been found at Mohenjo-daro. And it is believed that they must have used this buildings as a town hall or as a theater or administrative office or a granary. Granary means a storehouse for keeping the grains, rice, wheat, etc. So for what purpose they might have used this huge buildings as a town hall, that entertainment hall, or as a theater for showing the films, drama, etc. or administrative office of that officers, or granary, storehouse for keeping the grains. And there were also barracks. Barracks means the place where that soldiers are living, that residents of that soldiers, and that were also found out in Mohenjo-daro. It is believed that they had provided, these barracks were provided to the soldiers as a residence. So give information about the public building of Mohenjo-daro. The remains of two huge buildings have been found at Mohenjo-daro. And these buildings might have been used as a town hall or as a theater or an administrative office or a granary. And there were also barracks, that are residents of that soldiers, and to provide accommodation to the soldiers in the service of the government of the town.